Hi guys, welcome to an unboxing video. Today we have some reinforcements, that's for a different project I should say, and it is a different product. So we have an ironclad dreadnought that's going to go for Space Sharks, Venerable dreadnought which is also going to be Space Sharks, and surprisingly a Furioso dreadnought which will also go to the Space Shark. Got some brushes for this bit, this is the important part, topped up on some washes and some base coat colours. And we have Pariah Nexus. So the reason I wanted this is I wanted the heavy intercessors for the Space Sharks. Okay guys, so what you can see here is kind of the board piece that you get. Some of the Necron terrain, it just says Pariah Nexus scenery, it doesn't tell you what it is. Obviously there's some Necron doors there as well. But what do you get in this? You get a 112 page Killteam Pariah Nexus book, 22 by 30 inch double side game board, that's the Killteam size board, Pariah Nexus scenery, 2 sets of 17 objective cards, Ultramarines infantry transfer sheet, includes 12 models. So I have 5 Space Marine heavy intercessors, Necron Chronomancer and 5 Necron flayed ones. And on the box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6. Yeah, so they just, Space Marine Captain with Mastercrafted heavy bolt rifle. That was kind of all I was interested in this. I'm going to paint the Necrons up for the guy I normally do the Necrons for, so I'm not really too concerned about them. I know what I'm doing with them, but it's these guys that I'm looking forward to converting up and space sharking. So this guy's actually pretty cool as well. Yeah, so I'm going to go and open this up and see what's inside. So I opened up the box guys, and this thing literally slides out on a tray, so that's not too bad. I don't know, yeah, you can kind of see it there. The plastic for the Chronomancer it's a lighter shade or grey than the plastic on the terrain, which is weird. It almost looks like the terrain was made as a different colour plastic. So obviously he's got his mechadendrite kind of cloak thing. That's the spear there. Just move this back a bit. Move it this way. Yeah. So we have the spear here. He's got a choice of 3 different heads, which is weird. It's the top of the spear. Okay, so he's got a different. He's got 2 spear options by the looks of it as well. Yeah. So you have one this side and one this side. And then obviously he can hold his cube here. Yeah, and he's got more kind of cube things or swirly bits. So obviously that one makes the one that we seen on the back of the box. I'll get this guy built up and we can have a look at him then. So the terrain looks like it's a duplicate of each sprue. So you've got these kind of power conduit things. Kind of looks like the buildings from Coruscant and Revenge of the Sith. It looks like these would be nice and easy to pop out. Not too much work to be done on cleaning these up. I'd say these things here will make for great engine conversions for something. Probably an Orc vehicle. Yeah, you can see the detail on the doors there is really nice. And obviously these ones have the glyph on them. I really like these. Obviously we've 2 sets of them, and they are again a different colour to the Space Marine stuff. And some of the terrain is actually poked through the Killteam art thing that comes with it. That's a bit of a shame, but it's, as you can see, it's pretty big terrain. So obviously some of the points have popped through. So this here is the sprue for the captain. I'll definitely be changing the head out, so I don't think I'm doing any favours here at this light. Okay, so that head is definitely not getting used. I'm going to use a Space Shark head. With the way he's kind of built up, it's going to be hard to convert him. I might be able to get a Space Shark shoulder pad on his right hand, but that might be all I can do with him. Hopefully with the Intercessors I'll be able to do a little bit more. So here we have the flayed ones. It looks like all 5 of them are on the same sprue. If you just look here, look how menacingly long this finger is. Look at this here. These are going to look real good. I'm not going to go into too much on these. I'll get them built and then we can have a look at the models themselves. Obviously it'll be a while before the Space Marines are done. There's a piece of sprue. I think that's off one of the terrain kits. The heads for these guys are really cool, but I know I'm going to be swapping them out for Space Shark heads. The backpack thing here is a little bit different to what I'm used to seeing on a Space Marine. It's all hollow. We've got 2 unhelmeted heads over here. These are obviously bolt rounds. You've got your extra supplies and stuff. Got some pistols. It looks like the pistols are a little bit smaller than an auto bolt pistol. I'll definitely be able to do stuff with the shoulder pads on these guys. I have some Space Shark shoulder pads, so that's good. The heads obviously will be good to change out, and then arm wise, I think the sergeant is pointing. Yeah, he's pointing there. I'm going to try and give him different, like give him a weapon or a melee weapon of some sort. And that's not good. That is that looks like it's a piece off of a flayed one. So you can see here the picture has literally been shot to pieces, quite literally. What's cool, you can see the Chronomancer here in the background. He must be the captain. You've got the heavy intercessors, and then the flayed ones are attacking them. So I'll leave that aside and add it to the wall. You got your bases. I'd say the intercessors are probably on the 40mm bases. Your objective cards, skirmish, combat and close confines, and the instructions are in here as well, which is cool. Ultramarines transfer sheet, and obviously this is the board, so what I might do is just clear this out and open the board up and see what it looks like. So what you can see here, guys, is one side of the map. So it's actually pretty cool looking. It's hard card, there's a pot of paint in the middle, and then if we flip it over we have a different side, which I think looks way cooler. This is obviously similar to the, just make sure you can still see it, yeah. These bits here are obviously similar to the stuff we already had, and this is obviously where we're meant to put different pieces of the scenery that we got with it today. But yeah, that's that, and it folds up nice and easy. So that's that bit. I'm going to go and start building some of the models, and then we'll pop back and have a look. Hi guys, welcome back. I now have both sides of the Pariah Killteam Nexus models built. So this is the Necron ones, and let's just say they're probably the worst models I've ever had to build. This guy here wasn't too bad. He had a couple of pieces, so I went with the kind of open sphere, which is missing from his headpiece. I just think it looked cooler. I went with the orb thing because I wanted to paint it up. Went with the really long head as if he's old and wise, and then obviously the tentacles we didn't have to do too much with. There was only one bit that had to be glued on, I think, and that was part of the staff, so that wasn't too bad. He was actually nice and easy to put together, about as difficult as any Games Workshop character. These guys, however, were the biggest pain I've ever had when building a model, and I've built some pretty fiddly models and some pretty unbalanced, you know, with resin on the bottom, metal on the top kind of models. Just the way they go together and the contact points, they are horrendous. They definitely could have went with, I don't know, like a deeper peg, or more, the pegs were kind of like shaved off in some places. They're like half size pegs that fit into like a nook on the leg. You can see they're covered in plastic glue. I was using the army paint, just plastic glue, it's all stringy, but the contact points were ridiculously small and ridiculously hard to actually get stuff stuck to. So yeah, they could have done a better job on that. I still got them built. It's a bit of a struggle. Took a lot longer than I would have liked. You can see this guy here is completely covered in glue strands. Most of them you had to glue like the index finger onto, which had the index finger and the thumb into the smallest contact point. You can see all the glue and stuff on that there. I might leave some of it on and just paint it up as like blood trails once I get them primed, seeing how well they'll stick after they get primed. This guy, I actually had to glue, see the way he's got like his Necron claw and then he has like human hand underneath. Yeah, you had to glue the human hand in. Wasn't fun. So yeah, really did not enjoy building these guys. This guy was the hardest one to build. He was the last one. So you have to glue the shoulder pad on. These two things here are meant to connect. I couldn't get them to connect. I was gluing myself to the model. I was gluing myself to the arms. I'd pull my fingers off, the arm would come off. I was getting very frustrated with it. But thankfully enough, because they're flayed ones and they're covered in random bits of flesh, it's actually not too bad, so it'll probably look the part. And I'm going to show you the Space Marines now. I converted up to be Carcharodons. Okay guys, so what we have here is 5 heavy Intercessors and the Intercessor Sergeant with the mastercrafted bolt rifle, so I'll have a look at him first. There wasn't too much I could do with him with the way he was basically designed out. Couldn't find the piece for here. It's kind of like a little iron halo badge that's meant to go on there. It was sitting on my tissue on a piece of grey and I could not see it save me life. Turned the tissue over, couldn't see it. After I glued all the stuff together and glued this guy on, obviously I found it then. So it's hard to see, but he's just been given one of the Liber Demonica space shark heads, and he's got the netting kind of shoulder pad on him. That was really all I done. I did try and do the thing that I normally do with the space sharks on the back. The yoke with the tassel is like a bone thing. I tried using a lighter just to make it a little bit flexible. Caught on fire straight away and melted down, so I done it on the other side. I'll just paint that up to look like a shark's jawbone, so it actually worked out alright for him. But he's a pretty cool model. The other thing I done was added just an extra bit of shin armour here, just to break it up a bit from the generic look everyone's going to have. I'm going to do this guy first because I'm not too sure how I feel about his pose. So he's got the Auspex, he's got some extra shoulder pads, or shoulder pouches I should say. He's no clip in the gun. He's got the standard Intercessor, heavy Intercessor head. He's got a jawbone kind of shoulder pad, and he's reaching around the back to take out the ammo box. I don't want it to look like he's pulling it out from, you know, his rear, but I want it to look like, instead of him just standing there with the ammo thing underneath the gun as if he's just looking at you, I wanted to try and give it a bit more posing and action, so that's why I went with that. I'm not 100% sold on the pose for it yet. This guy has a bolt pistol shoulder, on a pouch on his shoulder. He's got a few extra shoulder pads, or pouches, I keep calling them shoulder pads. I went with the drum mag, I think that looks cooler. He's got the heavy Intercessor head, and you can see some of the burn marks here from where I had to heat these up to bend them around the shoulder pad, but that's just a Space Shark from Liber Demonica shoulder pad. You'll see a lot of them throughout my Space Shark army. So we'll do the basic guy, the last basic guy that we have. He's got the heavy bolter version basically. Gave him some extra pouches on his shoulder, gave him an unhelmeted head, and obviously a Space Shark head. Again, you can see the burn marks on it, and that was all I done on this guy. And then I gave him the drum mag option just to match with the other guy. This guy is, I'll do him last, he's the Sergeant. This guy got one of the Space Shark heads. I used one of the weapons off the Start Collecting Adetpus box, gave him a spear, so, and then I have some pouches on his shoulder pads as well. And then on the back, and then finally the Sergeant has his Space Shark head, Space Shark shoulder pad that I really burnt. I was trying to use the lighters just to heat up and get them hot enough to bend, and they just caught on fire straight away, so I let them burn for a second so they were hot enough, and then just pushed them onto the shoulder pad, because the Intercessor, the heavy Intercessor shoulder pad is bigger than the standard Space Marine shoulder pad, so that's why they needed to be stretched out. And then I gave him this sick Adetpus sword saber thing, gave him some grenades on his chest, and that's him. Oh, he's a gun on his back as well. So that's it guys, stay tuned, see these guys painted up, and that's it for Pariah Nexus. I'm not going to go through the terrain because I literally haven't done anything like that. I've it all cut out and cleaned, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint it up as generic and give it a green glow. It is pretty cool. But what I really wanted to try for it was for Necromunda, or not Necromunda, Titanicus, because there you go. The scale looks alright for Titanicus. So that's it guys, thanks for watching, see you in the next one.